I can hear you.
Okay, great. Let's see, how many folks do we have online? Just want to make sure before we get started. We got about 13 folks. Hopefully that's not just all the presenters. Um, so, well, we'll go ahead and get started. Omar, I don't have the list. I'm at work, so I don't have a list of all the schools that are presenting today. So, if you don't mind, can you, if you have that information handy, can you kind of, run the charts from your end if you have them available?
Yeah, let me share this slide so that everyone can see it.
Okay. All right. Okay, can everyone see the slides?
Yes.
I did not bring my glasses. Okay. All right. So this is our first um, INCOSE WMA academic liaison event where we're invited schools across the U.S. to present on their um, system engineering programs. I think both undergrad and graduate programs, if they have both, I think that's the plan here. So they're gonna spend about was it 10 to 15 minutes to talk about their degree programs within their institutions. And I guess are we gonna have time for Q&A after each presenter, or are we gonna save that for the end, Omar?
We can probably save it to the end.
Yeah, just so we can get through everyone.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
have a good list and about 2 hours to run to that list.
Okay. All right. Let's do that then. All right. So first up, unfortunately, I can't read the list there. I guess as we can advance to the second slide, we have George Mason University to present first. So I'll turn it over to George Mason.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I will start. My name is Gui Ping Hu. I'm the chair of the Systems Engineering and Operations Research Department. And thank you to Sean for the invitation, and thank you to Jeffrey and Oma for coordinating and sort of monitoring this session. I'm joined with Dr. John Shortle, who served as the department chair before me for 8 years, and he knows the ins and outs. I will open the session, and then I'll turn over to John to discuss the details. The instruction that was given to us is focusing on the graduate program, so the majority of the slides will be on the graduate program. Next slide, please. So we do have all levels of programs in the department. Our undergraduate program is called Systems and Industrial Engineering, and it's an INCOSE academic equivalency program. We have two master's programs, one in systems engineering and one in operations research. The systems engineering one has the INCOSE academic equivalency. And for our master program, those can be all taken online or in person. Our PhD program is integration of systems engineering and operations research. And probably similar to a lot of programs that we'll be discussing, in addition to the full-blown master program, we have multiple graduate certificates, including the two listed over here. And with that, I'll turn it over to John. John, are you there? I saw you earlier.
Yes. Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, flip to the next slide.
Yeah, so as Dr. Hu mentioned, we're focusing mainly on the graduate programs here, and graduate systems engineering programs. So this is, I mean, it's probably hard to see all the details here, but this is kind of the structure of our master's in systems engineering. So there are 5 required courses plus a capstone course that cover various foundations of systems engineering, including cost modeling, requirements, design, simulation modeling, management. And then we have several concentration tracks. So every student takes one of the concentrations. Probably the most popular concentrations that we have are the digital engineering and system architecture. I'll say a little bit more about that one. The systems management track is also popular, and students can also do essentially kind of a no concentration option. Choose your own concentration. The program can be taken entirely online. We don't have every single class online, but there's a pretty significant number of feasible paths through the program that are online. Because our department is both systems engineering and operations research, I think we have a strong focus on quantitative modeling. And so most of these concentration tracks require some kind of basic methods course, like an optimization or data analytics that is application agnostic, but quantitative modeling techniques. Okay, so go ahead to the next slide. So this is one of our graduate certificates that's fairly popular. It's also essentially kind of one of the concentration tracks plus one of the required courses. So one of the courses is Foundations in Systems Engineering. So this is kind of like Systems 101. It covers the INCOSE Handbook. This is the course that most closely maps with the INCOSE equivalency. If a student has, for example, come from our undergraduate, has a bachelor's in systems engineering, or if a student is, works in the system engineering field, then an elective can be taken in place of that. And then we have a number of courses that are on the digital engineering, model-based system engineering side. So systems design, which covers kind of an introduction to SysML and object-oriented design, functional requirements, physical requirements, etc. We have a course that's entirely devoted to model-based system engineering and SysML. And then finally, the architecture course deals with connecting model-based systems models with simulations. So connecting and doing analysis on systems using interconnected models. And all the certificates naturally count towards 100% if you want to continue on to get the master's degree. Okay, go ahead to the next slide. So this is just kind of highlighting one course that we have that's new. So we're just starting to teach this course in digital twins, and it's offered at both the undergraduate and graduate level. But it's essentially combining modeling with a physical system, predicting what the system will do, measuring it in real time, and then feeding that back into decision and design and analysis process. But this is all embedded within a SysML model, so it's all done within a system engineering framework. Go ahead to the next slide. Okay. Okay. So we also have several related programs. So these are not always system engineering, but things that we're connected to in our department. So one, we have a multidisciplinary master's of science in data analytics. And so we contribute some of the core courses. We have several of the concentrations in analytics. We also have a new master's of science in artificial intelligence. And one of our faculty is the program director. And so this program spans computer science, statistics, but obviously operations research, optimization are significant elements in AI. And the last one that maybe most specifically of interest to INCOSE is a graduate certificate in responsible AI. So it's kind of the design and use of AI systems, not necessarily getting into the nitty gritty of AI, but one of the required courses in this certificate is system engineering and artificial intelligence. We cover both SE for AI and AI for SE. So that the SE for AI would be using system engineering to design systems that have AI components in them, and AI for SE would be using artificial intelligence to, for example, improve the system engineering processes, improving the ability to write requirements and things like that. And then we also have a couple of just a fun one there. We have a aviation flight training minor, so you can actually get a pilot's license. But we have several faculty that do research in air transportation, so that's one of our kind of our strengths. We're trying out a new minor in sustainable systems engineering. So sustainability has a lot of systems components. That's of interest to many students. So we're giving it a try. We'll see how it goes. So I think is that our last slide. And so I think that's close to on time. So I'll give it back to Dr. Hu if you have anything to wrap up with.
Perfectly on time. Great. I have nothing to add. Back to you, Jeffrey. And we're 6:15.
Right on time, even with the slight delay getting started. So I think next on the we have Virginia Tech next in line here.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech online. Okay.
Jeff, can you stop sharing so I can share my screen? I got my slides here.
Yeah, Omar, can you stop sharing so Taylin can share his slides?
Thank you. All right. Can you guys see my slides okay?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. How about now?
I can. Yes, we can see him now.
Cool. Awesome. Let's see if I can keep track on time. So my name is Taylan Güneştopçu. I'm an assistant professor at the ISE department at Virginia Tech. I'm also serving as the director of the Systems Engineering Masters of Science degree program and the coordinator of the Mission Engine Graduate Certificate program, which I will talk about a little bit today. So Virginia Tech Grado Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering was established in 1920 and is a consistently top-ranked program in industrial and systems engineering. And what I would highlight here is that we are one of the very few industrial and systems engineering departments that host all 4 main research clusters of industrial and systems engineering. So we have a research group on human factors engineering and ergonomics. We have a research group on management and systems engineering, which is the group that I'm in. We have a manufacturing systems engineering group that does manufacturing quite extensively, and then we have an operations research group. So roughly speaking, we have 40 faculty members. And so we offer degrees in industrial and systems engineering on 3 different levels. We offer a PhD in industrial and systems engineering with a concentration on systems engineering or management systems if needed, and the course distribution varies. And then we have 5 other concentrations that I'm not going to talk about today. I'm actually not going to talk about the PhD program at all. We have a Systems Engineering Masters of Science degree. It's a non-thesis master's degree that I will talk more about today. And then we have a Mission Engine Graduate Certificate program that's more relevant for the INCOSE crowd, but we also have a graduate certificate on human systems integration. So let me talk about the master's degree. So this master's degree is primarily supported by the systems engineering faculty that I talked about that looks into different bits and pieces of the evolving systems engineering landscape. That includes regular systems engineering and design of organization and engineering teams, systems architecture, but also AI for systems engineering and the human systems interface and policy analysis. But our master's degree is also supported quite heavily by our adjunct faculty. So among this faculty, some I will name is Professor Alan Brown, who's the last standing NAVC professor. We have Dr. Jim Moreland, who was the pioneer of the Mission Engineering Guide when he was serving at the DoD. We have Dr. Paul Wack, who's a digital engineering expert, and we have Dr. Warren Vanneman, who's a Navy vet who teaches systems architecture and systems engineering in our program. So here's how our master's degree looks like. So again, this is a non-thesis Master's of Science degree, meaning folks don't have to write a thesis, but they get all the privileges of holding a Master's of Science degree. Our curriculum is been revamped quite recently and is continues to being improved. And it includes some courses that I will highlight that I think are either quite rare or unique to Virginia Tech. This is a location-independent program, so you can be anywhere on the world, and all of our courses are basically hybrid. So they are streamed synchronously online and offered somewhere in person, probably in Blacksburg or in Northern Virginia, but doesn't matter where you are. And almost all the courses in this program are also offered in evening hours in Eastern Standard Time, so it's pretty suitable for working professionals. And our program has INCOSE's academic equivalency, meaning that if you partake in our program and do well enough, you don't have to take the knowledge exam when you're seeking the professional certification from INCOSE. And it has a flexible structure, so we don't really have tracks. What we have instead is a group of core courses and a very broad set of electives that allow students to mix and match basically depending on their specific needs. And degree requirements are basically 10 courses. This includes 4 mandatory core courses on systems engineering, and then 5 electives, and then a capstone design course that essentially substitutes for the thesis requirement. So here's what they look like. So these are the core courses. Our core courses are fundamentals of systems engineering, economic project evaluation, decision analysis for engineers, and system dynamics modeling of socio-technical systems, plus the capstone design course. And then our electives can be selected from a very broad list. I'm also only going to show you some recommended subsets here. So for example, if the students are really interested in going deep into systems engineering, we have courses on mission engineering, digital engineering, systems architecture, and artificial intelligence for systems engineering. Or if they are, let's say, more interested in program management and organizational change type of roles, we have courses on organizational systems and management of change. We have program and project management courses. If they are more interested in human systems interface, we have courses on human systems integration, along with a vast set of courses on cognitive task analysis and other human factors related stuff that I'm not going to talk about today. If they're interested in operations research and more of an optimization track, we also have a lot of courses in that area. But the cool thing about this degree is that they actually don't have to take courses from the Industrial and Systems Engineering department for their electives. Students can also take courses from other engineering departments at Virginia Tech, which really works well if, let's say, you're working in a very specific area such as antenna design or electromagnetic interference or networks or virtual environments and so forth. So I'm naming some electrical and computer engineering courses here and some computer science courses, but there's a lot more of these that I can talk about today. Or let's say if they're working in aerospace and defense, they can select courses from our aerospace and ocean engineering department, which can include courses such as orbital mechanics, intro to space science, position navigation and timing for satellites, principles of naval engineering. We have a lot of naval engineering courses as well. And then, or they can select courses from the mechanical engineering department, such as robotics and automation. So some degree requirements, I think this is mostly a crowd of presenters, so I don't know how much this resonates, but our expectations are the candidates are holding a Bachelor's of Science degree from some accredited institution. Although we are flexible in this, we really appreciate holding an engineering degree, mostly speaking. We are expecting a GPA of at least 3.0 during undergrad, but this can be compensated with significant work experience. We have some flexibility there. A GRE is not required, but encouraged. It can only help if it's a good GRE score, of course. And a statement of purpose, a CV, and at least 2 recommendation letters. And a little bit on the mission engineering graduate certificate, which I believe is becoming more and more important, especially with the establishment of the mission engineering and integration activity at the Department of War. So the idea here is that we are trying to place mission engineering at the core of all of our acquisition and system evaluation activities. It's fundamentally replacing JSIDs, I'm sorry, at Pentagon. So this is what this graduate certificate is trying to address, and it's been around for 5 years now. So I think we were the first program offering this graduate certificate. Again, a similar setup. However, it's only 4 courses and 2 core courses and 2 electives. Here, the core courses are Mission Engineering and Fundamentals of Systems Engineering, and the electives can be selected from the following five: so Digital Engineering, Systems Architecture, Economic Project Evaluation, and the others. As you can see, there's a lot of overlap with the Systems Engineering Master's degree here, and students can double count their credits. So let's say you can use the graduate certificate as a graceful entry ramp into the master's program, or maybe as a graceful exit ramp if life expectations get really demanding and you feel like a master's degree is not suitable for you at that time. And our application deadlines are like the following. For a fall starting date, our deadline is June 15th, and for a spring starting date, our deadline is November 15th, but we do really encourage early application. And on that bright note, I will conclude my presentation. Here's my contact information. Feel free to reach out to me if you have content-related questions regarding the program. But if you're more interested in about the admission process and the paperwork, etc., our graduate student advisor, Ms. Hannah Parks, the first email listed here is your best resource. I think I'm also on time, which is great. Thanks, folks.
All right, Taylor. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next up, if you want to, we'll have to, I'll switch the slides. Johns Hopkins University.
Yep. Hey, how's it going?
All right. Is that David?
Yep.
How you doing, David?
Good to see everyone here. Lots of familiar faces in the audience. So so thanks for having us. So there's only two slides here. I'm going to talk a little bit about our wider program and then dive into the to the details of our system engineering program. So I'm Dave Flanagan. I'm the both the vice chair of the systems engineering program as well as the associate dean for non-resident graduate education. So Johns Hopkins has a lot of different areas. For this event, we're just going to talk about our engineering for professionals. So that's really our part-time program. And so this is ideally for our students who are full-time working professionals and then part-time students. And so we've got a lot of other faculty. This is for the entire master's suite of about 26 different master's programs. Pretty much all of them are practitioners. So they're also full-time professionals, part-time educators. From industry, government, the Pod Physics Lab where I work, and other places also. So we have a lot of different modalities. Probably like pretty much everyone else, the majority are now what we call online asynchronous, which is again sort of your recorded videos, and then doing some of the work with the students. Online synchronous, what we also call virtual live, and so that's more of a live class, at certain times where folks want that time. And with some smaller parts, it's in person. So as with everyone, as it's kind of shifted from more in person to online. So again, we have master's degrees. And again, for this one, it's going to be the graduate, and then also graduate certificates and postgraduate certificates. So with a lot of our online degrees, we range, as you can read through these, not only engineering, but the sciences, and then also our computer and information technology programs. So excited about all these. And we have a wide variety of faculty there. Okay, so next slide. And then so for systems engineering, where I teach in, we have both our MS and MSE, and so these are kind of accredited. So the ABET accreditation is that if you have an undergraduate ABET accredited engineering degree, then you would have the MSE, Master's System. MSE degree instead of the Master of Science. So if you didn't have it, then those are just slightly different there. Again, with our certificates, our postgraduate certificate, we're working on a digital and mission engineering certificate. as well to be able to complement and reflect, the needs of the student base. So yeah, so ABET accredited. Yeah, we've been online for quite a while. I think it was about 2007 when I started teaching with Johns Hopkins. Yeah, we started going online. So again, with the pandemic, that was, we were almost about 95% online to begin with. So yeah, so going through that, yeah, a lot of good work with our students here. Like George Mason and Virginia Tech, yeah, with that 10 course program, some required courses are core courses, a variety of electives. Systems engineering has some flexibility, so a lot of those other master's programs that you saw from the previous slide will accept those as some of the electives as well. And we also have a capstone projects. About 95% of the our students work on that. That's a one semester effort. They take a topic of their choice. They work with the project mentor and they work through all the various systems engineering artifacts from requirements to architecture to trade studies to testing and so on. For about the other 5%, they'll do a two-semester thesis option. And these are more designed for the student that wants a little bit more taste of what it's like to be prepared for a doctorate program, sort of the follow-on efforts there. And so again, it's similar to working with a committee, building it, defending your approach, and research from the first semester, and then doing the research, and then defending the final product in the second semester, and hopefully then kind of working with some of the conferences to do that publishable paper in a peer-reviewed fashion. So that's the majority of that. We also have some partnership programs here. So we've got numerous partnerships with various industry partners there. This is the same material as the public program. It is a little bit more compressed. Instead of a 14-week semester, it's a 9-week, and then they're run in a cohort setting. So it takes about 2.5 years for the students to go through. And we also have partnership co-instructors, so they can kind of give the students their C stories as well as kind of backstopping some of our academic efforts there. And so, yeah, they've been fairly successful there. Along the way, we've also spun out of a couple of different programs from our system engineering program. So space systems. So we recognized back then there was a little bit more interest in, space with the different sort of customer base, NASA, SpaceX, all Space Force, all of those folks there. So we spun that off, and that's fairly successful, as well as our healthcare systems. And this is partnering with our School of Medicine, our School of Public Health, and really designed for our clinicians, nurses, and engineers working in healthcare. Okay, so that's it for us for Johns Hopkins. Great, thanks a lot.
All right, thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Moving on, we've got University of Virginia, UVA on.
Hi, how are you?
Great.
Thanks for having me, and I appreciate the time to talk about our program. My name is Matt Burkett. I'm a faculty member in the Systems and Information Engineering Department. I'm also the director of the Executive Master's Program in Systems Engineering. We call it AMP, or just AMP. Next slide, please. So when we talk about AMP, our program is a 1-year accelerated program in systems engineer designed specifically for working professionals that want to get a degree in systems engineering, like the academic rigor associated with a graduate program, but don't want to put their careers on hold. So this came out of a lot of, I think, conversations with our alumni from our department. And we designed the curriculum and the format in a way that would kind of meet the needs of people that we had there. So, the first part is this is a curriculum that's grounded in systems thinking and supporting with analytics and practical business courses. So it starts off with a class on systems thinking and design. So that's almost, as we say, setting the table for the systems thinking approach. And all the subsequent classes that we take fill in, I guess, the gaps and support this overarching structure in systems engineering. The second part is our program format. So what this is an in-person majority based of that, 80% in person, and it's a cohort model. So everyone's going through together. And the reason for this is we put a great deal of emphasis on learning from our peers and developing our professional networks. And whether that's looking, kind of supporting us as we're looking to bring on new people onto our teams, finding ways to collaborate, or if you just want to look for new opportunities in your work. We think that the business schools, the law schools have done a good job really fostering the value that comes out of a professional network, and our program's really trying to do that in the engineering world. Our classes are held the majority on Fridays and Saturdays at the UVA Fairfax campus. For those of you that may not know where that is, it's a brand new facility. It opened up last year, right about this time, at the intersection of 66 and 495 in Falls Church off Gallows Road. And we have classes in person, and we look to have a lot of dialogue and discussion, both in our analytical classes, in our more conceptual business classes. When I taught our applied stochastics class, I used to always kind of almost complain to my TA that I only got through 80% of the material I planned to because there was so much dialogue and discussion going on certain things. And it took me a little while to realize that that was the virtue of what we had. People were bringing up what were practical applications of these techniques. People were learning from their peers. And there was a great deal of value that was there, I think, that transcended the amount of materials we were actually covering. So, a lot of my professors that work for us in this program have said the same thing. And they think that the practical applications that come out of this is the real virtue that we see here. So this is an intensive one-year program. We start at the end of May, the day after UVA's graduation, and it'll finish up at the end of April the following year. Who teaches in our program? We are full-time UVA faculty members, and we're teaching to our research focuses. So we're going to be teaching systems thinking, human-centered design, applied probability, applied optimization, linear statistical modeling, and there'll be a capstone experience. And all of the people that are doing this, they are teaching right in line with what their research is. We also have professors of practice that come in and teach our 2 business classes. We teach one class on strategic product management, and we teach one class on innovation and entrepreneurship. And our hope there is just to show engineers how they can become businessmen. Last week when we were in session, we had one of our current students who's a 20-year practicing engineer come in and said, one of these classes was kind of making his brain hurt because he didn't realize to what degree an engineer really was a businessman and where the potential was there. So I loved that idea. I love the fact that we were expanding boundaries and potential for what an engineer thought was possible given their, given their educational background. Instructional format, as I touched on before, but I'll reiterate on, it's interactive and collaborative. We don't invite, we expect, and we encourage the idea of collaboration, participation, teamwork, because we know that when you get out in the workforce, this is how you're going to work. So we try to have it as a very interactive experience. That's why we want to have most of our classes in person. And the last part is like an integrated capstone experience, where the final class that we have right before graduation is going to be a week-long sprint effort where we partner with a company, find a project of interest that they have, we work with them, and then we do a presentation of our results on the last day. And this could be anything from mission engineering framework in the defense space. We have worked with natural resource investment firms coming up with risk profiles. We have worked with the Department of Transportation, with VDOT, looking at their portfolio of infrastructure projects. We have worked with UVA to look at their sustainability goals, how that fits into an overarching strategic approach. So we look at all of these kind of factors. We try to have a very applied, practical, analytically based decision making and business forward curriculum. And then on top of that, we have 2 online electives. So that's the 20%. So you get to do a few classes that might align a little bit more with your interests that weren't part of the core AMP curriculum. Next slide, please. So, if you have any questions, I'd love to kind of continue this dialogue. And if you want to just scan the QR code and just kind of connect with me, I'd be very happy to kind of schedule a time when we can go through it. But it's, we're still accepting applications for our May cohort. We'll expect to have 20, 25 people in that. So it's smaller than some of these other programs, but it's going to be a kind of an intensive group effort. If you have any questions, I would love to talk to you more about this.
Yeah, okay, Matthew. I think we're going to do Q&A at the end. So
Okay.
you can stick around until then. That'd be great.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. Who do we have next? Oops, my screen is not working. Can't see.
I can take over sharing my own slides if that's all right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is Colorado State University?
Yes, this is Vinny
Okay.
Paglioni. I'm an assistant professor at Colorado State in systems engineering, and I'm joined by Steve Simsky. And let me just bring the slides up here real quick. Screen 1, there we go. So everyone should be able to see my slides right about now. But yes, so I'm Vinny Paglioni, assistant professor in systems engineering here at CSU. Steve Simsky, who is one of our distinguished professors at CSU, is also on the call with us. And I was debating as everyone else was talking, what to say to really distinguish CSU. And I think that the best thing I can say, at least on the first slide, is that we are not in Virginia. So if you are looking for a systems engineering program out in the Western United States, we are the people to come talk to. Like others have said on the call, right, we offer the same sort of value across the systems engineering life cycle, across domains of systems engineering, and we try to sit really right at that intersection of theory and application. Similar to other programs, we offer graduate certificates and Masters of Engineering, Masters of Science, PhDs, and the Doctorate of Engineering, which I think we can dive into a little bit in more detail as kind of one of the distinguishing factors of our program here at CSU. Regardless of how you attend at CSU, I think that one of the interesting things about our program is that you are in class with students who are in person, live on Zoom, and attending asynchronously. So all students are there sharing the same content, the same instructors, and able to share their own experiences with each other. And as Matthew Burkett was just saying, right, he runs out of time because there's so much discussion going on in the classroom. I run into the exact same problem in every single one of my classes. Whether it's a discussion on the theory or on the applications, we have great students who are able to bring their own perspectives and their own experiences to bear in the classroom, which is fantastic for fostering that kind of multidisciplinary, multi-domain learning. 85% of our faculty members have industry experience, and we offer a variety of courses across those areas of expertise, whether you're interested in aerospace, engineering, in cybersecurity, human factors and human systems, or one thing that I'd like to call out is our growing emphasis on the theory of systems and the theory of risk in systems engineering, which are kind of emerging as areas of support in our programs. But again, we have a variety of programs for students to choose from. that supports not only students looking for kind of a traditional on-campus graduate experience, or those who are working full time and looking to improve or take a move in their career. Whether students are interested in a master's degree, such as the Master's of Engineering, where you can gain those skills to help you move through industries without the thesis, or you want to apply a little bit more of a research focus in, say, a Master's of Science. We also offer a PhD program, and what I think is particularly special about CSU is our Doctorate of Engineering program, which really blends the academic rigor and the research focus of the PhD with an applied bent that you are solving a real problem that you've brought with you from your own industry, and you're working hand in hand not only with a CSU advisor, but also with a senior engineer at your own institution or your own organization, again, to put your research into practice as a real solution. Along the way, or if, to others' points earlier, right, if life situations change and a full graduate degree is no longer in the cards, we also offer a number of graduate certificates that can give you the experiences in these particular domains that you can then take with you and either apply it to a master's or a PhD later, or take it with you directly back to industry, whether that's systems engineering practice, human systems integration, our model-based systems engineering certificate, or systems security. So where we think CSU's systems engineering education really is differentiated is in that industry relevance. Again, our systems engineering students, particularly the DEng students, but this occurs kind of across our programs, are bringing those industry problems to bear on their academic research. We have a selection of some recent master's and PhD projects here. I'll call out one specifically because he's my student working on a unified framework for reliability of IoT systems with his company in the kind of vehicle technology space. And as part of this reflexive relationship that CSU really has with industry, we are training not only in the theories of systems engineering, but with modern tools and practices. So students are gaining real experience with tools like Dassault Cameo, Teamcenter PLM, techniques like agile systems engineering, model-based systems engineering, working with digital twins, AI for SE, augmented and virtual reality for systems engineering. And as a result, we've really built our reputation with industry partners as the preferred systems engineering education provider for many companies and enterprises that then bring us interesting research topics to work on as well. And I think I will finish with just a note that we do offer the INCOSE Academic Equivalency Program, particularly students who finish our SYSE 501 course, that's the Fundamentals of Systems Engineering, with a B+ or higher, can bypass the knowledge exam for INCOSE. And again, if you are interested in any of our programs, I'd encourage you to reach out to myself or Steve Simsky, who's also on the call, or any of our faculty and staff at CSU. And you can go online to our website and read all about our various research areas. But I think I'll reserve a couple minutes here right at the end for Steve if you have anything you'd like to say.
Thanks, Vinny. That was an excellent overview of it. And I would just emphasize what Vinny said about the Doctorate of Engineering program. So, for example, I just had a student graduate. It's on our website, so you can look him up, Kenny Peebles. He's at Red Hat Linux. And we did a Kubernetes threat analysis program that is so cool that he's decided to keep his dissertation under wraps for a while we go out and patent that work as well. And so because a lot of us, like myself, I worked a long time at NASA, then a long time at HP, and now at CSU, have that, big industry, big government, and big university experience, we can really custom craft it to the needs of the student. And so again, if you do have any questions or anything, please reach out to Vinny, myself, or our department chair listed on the last slide. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve. And I'll go ahead and hand off the share.
Yeah, thanks, Vinny and Steve. Appreciate it. And also, if you can stick around for Q&A at the end, that'd be greatly appreciated. All right, next we have on stage here is University of Arkansas.
Can you hear us? Okay.
Can you hear? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
Just checking my mic. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can hear you.
Time for me to start then?
Yes, you can go ahead.
So I'm David Paulus. I'm the director of the Engineering and Operations Management programs at the University of Arkansas. And I'm sure there's a lot of programs. You say, well, what's unique about you all? Ours is fully online. So you take 10 classes, and you can see here's the core classes that everyone takes. So to be in the engineering management program, you have to have a bachelor's degree in some form of engineering, ABET accredited. So we also have an operations management. And since we only had 2 slides, I focused on engineering management because I figured you all were systems engineers with an engineering degree. But if you don't have a degree, you can do operations management. There's one extra class, so it's 11 classes. And it actually has a foundations class to kind of introduce you to all of the topics we're going to do and kind of get you up to speed. So you can see we do intro to EM, decision models, economic decision making, project management, and then problem stats. And then you're going to take 5 electives and then a comprehensive exam. And another unique thing about University of Arkansas is we are under $11,000 for the full master's degree. So we really try to stay competitive. We also try to stay at the tuition reimbursement for the military so they don't have to pay anything out of pocket. So while you're doing your electives, you can also stack those. We can go to slide number 2. And you can get a 4-course certificate. So we have project management, Lean Six Sigma, operations management, EM analytics, and then just engineering management for homeland security. So you can actually stack your electives to come out with at least 1 certificate. And really, I was hoping to do some Q&A. I had 25 slides, got it down to 2. And if you want to go back to the first slide, that's got our website on it. So I figured that's probably what people wanted to see. It's msem.uark.edu, or you can do MSOM for operations management. And really, that's all I have for today. So let's see if there's any questions.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Thank you, David. You go by Dave or David?
Friends and family call me Dave, but people at work call me David. So that's how I know.
Okay.
That's how I know who we're.
Okay, got it. All right, thank you. If you can stay on for the Q&A at the end as well, that would be greatly appreciated. Next up, we have University of Utah. We have University of Utah online. Okay, I'm not hearing anyone from representing the university. So let's maybe we'll have to come back to them. So let's skip forward to the next institution, Purdue University. We have Purdue online.
Yes, I am here, but we have another faculty, Joaquin, who will join us.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't see him in the waiting room yet. Wait. Nope, I don't see anyone in the waiting room.
So is it okay to come back?
We can come back to you. That's wait. I'm admitting someone now. It might be your colleague. Hold on one second. And someone else just say, I'm sorry, what's your colleague's name?
Joaquin.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Okay, there it is. Yes,
Hi,
we can hear you.
apologies. I had issues connecting. I apologize about that. So I'm very excited to present our grad and undergrad programs that we're running at Purdue. Purdue University has done a great effort in the last years to increase and expand our graduate and undergraduate programs related to systems and also to industrial engineering. We are very active in collaborating not only with other institutions and within across the schools at Purdue, but also with industry. We're developing a lot of new initiatives, for instance, in our Indianapolis branch of Purdue University, with many companies that has been settled there for a long time. And if we can go to the next slide, I'm happy to share about our programs. We have a master's degree in systems engineering. It started recently in January 2025, and it keeps growing. And it's a flexible 30 credit MSc in systems engineering, and it's available, fully available online. It's a fully online program available. We also have our master's degree in interdisciplinary engineering. It's a systems concentrate within MS interdisciplinary engineering and supports tailored programs across autonomy, robotics, and Internet of Things. And it's available both on campus and online so that the students can choose what works better for them. And I want to say that in many of our programs, we get students that recently graduated from their undergrad studies, but also people that are senior in their careers and then join from their respective companies and industry to keep growing on their academic curriculum. We also have a graduate certificate in systems, which mostly consists of our 3 systems courses, SYS 500, 510, and 530. The graduate certificate is focused on our systems courses and can be a standalone certificate, or is stackable into a degree with 9 credits and compare with any of our graduate degrees. And it's available both on campus and also fully online. And we also have our INCOSE equivalent course, SYS 520, which is instructed by Professor David Walden. It's in systems engineering processes and professional competencies, and it's a fully certified equivalency towards the INCOSE certification. If we can go to the next slide, please. The Purdue Systems Collaboratory, it's I'm sorry, I apologize. If you are interested in our INCOSE academic equivalency, you can check on this QR code. It's 100% online. It's an 8 weeks program, and it's worth 3 credits. And if we go to the next one, our Purdue Systems Collaboratory, which is the unit that is leading all these graduate programs, is embedded into our Edwardson School of Industrial Engineering. And we are happy to share that we've been doing really great on rankings in the last years. So we are #1 online graduate engineering for 6 years straight. For 5 consecutive years, we are #2 in undergraduate engineering. And we achieved #3 in graduate engineering. And if you are interested in any of these programs, you can check on the QR codes that we provided. And most importantly, if you have any questions about the curriculums, the courses, or any managing decisions that you need to know about so that you can pursue your academic career with us, please reach Kat Barhart, who is our Senior Program Manager at the Purdue Systems Collaboratory. And this is all I had to share, and I will be happy to answer any questions. And if they get very complicated, Kat Barhart will support me, who is also joining this meeting. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, we're going to have the Q&A at the end of the presentation. So if you could stick around, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah. Next up, we have University of Arizona.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I think, yeah, I'm on here.
Right.
Okay, I'll try to be brief. We have a few programs in the university that are relevant to systems engineering. I'm going to focus on 4 of them, which are the ones where we have put most of the effort in the last couple of years to modernize and make them relevant to the current practitioner. That's going to be 2 graduate certificates, 1 in test and evaluation, 1 in digital engineering, our master's program, and the PhD. There are some aspects that are common to all of them. Mainly, we have semesters that are 7.5 weeks in duration. So that's your traditional semester compressed into half of it. And we do that because the programs are specifically designed to the part-time part-time student, to the working professional that is doing this on the side, on the evenings. We have found that it is much easier to focus on one course at a time, and by compressing the semester into 7.5 weeks, the students can progress much more quickly through the program by taking 2 courses each semester, but again, without having to juggle between the different due dates, assignments, and content of each of the programs. The programs are stackable, so you can take the 4 courses of a graduate certificate and use them towards a master's degree if you want to continue education in that route, or you can take them into the PhD program if that's what you want to do. So you can start at the certificate, you can start at the master and take the certificate as you go. There are no mutual exclusivity restrictions between them. Let's go to the next slide. And I'm going to be presenting each program. Just a summary of them. Graduate certificate in test and evaluation. Who wants to do this? Well, if you're working on V&V or T&E and you want to do better than you do today, you want to have more control or better grasp of what's going on. You want to feel that things are not just working on a reactive firefighting mode, but you want to be super intentional. This might be for you. The curriculum consists of 2 core courses, one that looks at problem definition, and you can take our general course on requirements engineering, or you can take one that is specifically focused on software requirements and tests, and then our main advanced methods course for V&V planning and execution. And then you can take 2 other electives. We have a broad range of courses that are available, but here we're focusing, or most students are interested in either a path of test results evaluation and data analysis. So they go with data analytics, engineering statistics, data science, DOE, or you can get into the more act of testing with systems integration and test, autonomy testing, or software testing. Let's get to the next slide, Jeffrey. And we move on to digital engineering. Now, what is this program for? Most of the organizations we know of are in the path of transitioning into digital engineering. And this is for those professionals that want to champion that transition. This is not for the user, but for the person that is going to push this transition forward. What you're going to learn in this program is how to create digital threads, how to connect data across models and databases, how to how to manage models that are used by different people in the organization. So you can look at that on the core curriculum, which has to do with digital threading, model management, how to define and design ontologies and vocabularies, and also how to do federated modeling and simulation. And then you can choose an emphasis. You can take this from the perspective of systems engineering, or you can take this from the perspective of manufacturing and Industry 4.0. To support this program, we have our digital engineering factory, and if you've been a runner in INCOSE and some of the papers that we have published, you see that it is quite advanced, and from what we have heard, quite beyond what you can find in the state of the practice. So if you're taking this program, you will not only be working with our digital engineering factory, you will be creating threads within that factory so that you can then take those concepts and bring them to your organization. Let's get to the next slide on the master's program. Nothing the project is striking here, a few core courses in systems engineering, some emphasis that you can take on different specializations of digital engineering, systems engineering strategy, mission engineering architecture requirements, you choose it. You can go into the digital engineering concentration, but the program is designed to be very flexible. So if a student has a very specific interest on hypersonics, then you can take an emphasis on hypersonics. You're interested in space systems, you can do that. You prefer to be on autonomous systems, you can take courses and go through those electives to create your own path. So again, very strong in systems engineering, but at the same time with the flexibility to let a student decide their own journey if they want to do that. You can see there in a very small text font there, the INCOSE certification. We provide academic equivalency with INCOSE certification. If you take 544, one of those courses, then you get the exam waived. So that's something we have available here as well. And then let's move into the PhD program. That's for those that really want to push it to the next level. Jeffrey, if we can go to the next slide. So, well, this is a PhD, again, designed for the part-time student. You can take it fully remote, method agnostic, application agnostic. You can choose your own path. We have several research thrusts that you can choose from. And why would you want to do that if you do not want to be a researcher? And this is a question that we get from some of the practitioners, right? Well, I'm not going to go into academia. Why would I want a PhD? And it is true that there are some aspects of the PhD that will not be relevant to a person that is going to remain in industry, but there is some other learning that happens there that is going to put you in a position to become a fellow or a systems engineering leader in your organization. First of all, you're going to be a real expert in what you're doing because you're going to know the state of the art in quite a bit of depth, but it's also going to give you a way of thinking about how to go beyond the silver bullet that most organizations try to find and shape whatever transformation that your organization wants to do to pursue. And then with the last line, the question is, how is our program different from any other program that is being presented here? So I'm going to give you a few highlights of how we believe our program it might be different, or at least what is unique or strong in the way that we have designed this. So first of all, we claim to be the first program that existed in the world, and at least based on documentation, we have not found any systems engineering program that is older than ours. But having said that, we just modernized it. So we're not teaching the same thing we were teaching in 1961. We have a similar mindset from the perspective of pushing and being a pioneer on what we teach. So most of the things that you're going to learn in our program are really state-of-the-art, very advanced methods taken from the literature. But this does not mean that it is theoretical or things you find in a paper and you cannot apply. We have really good bridging between theory and practice. All of our courses are co-created by faculty that has experience in industry and faculty that know what the state of the art is. And we're playing at that intersection of the things that the state of the possible within the pragmatism and the constraints of real life practice. We're taking an approach that is by embedding MBSE in the curriculum. So you're not going to find courses that are specific to MBSE. What happens is that you're going to be learning on the whiteboard, good systems engineering, and then you're going to go into the virtual lab to learn how to do that in a model-based environment. You're going to find that in every course that we teach. So you come to a requirements engineering course. Yes, we teach certain things on the whiteboard, and then we're going to go into a modeling environment and try to create models of requirements. We do the same in architecture. We do the same in our intro to systems engineering. We do the same in V&V planning and execution, right? So all of our courses have that lecture component and the virtual lab where you can actually practice in a modeling environment. And the last thing that I like to say is that we have redesigned all of our courses to be specifically targeting the online student that is working full-time. That means that all the courses are asynchronous. This is not a class that is being recorded and you're trying to observe as an external person. This is being recorded in a studio specifically for you. And then we have activities that are very interactive and engaging for the students. So we're trying to mimic that magic that happens in the classroom for those people that cannot be in the classroom and have whatever working times they have to work with, time zones, meetings, business travel, right? So yes, we have an in-person program, but now we are really splitting that so that we can focus properly on pedagogy for the online student. And I think, Jeffrey, that's all I had for the intro. I'll be happy to answer questions at the end of the day.
All right, thanks, Alejandro. Appreciate it. Okay, next we have University of Utah. Are they online now? Or
That's right. Can you guys hear me?
okay, great.
All right, thanks for thanks for fitting me in. I was early, but not early enough. But I'm here to talk about the awesome things we're doing at the U in beautiful Salt Lake City. So let's take a look at the next slide. All right, so that's a summary of the graduate level programs that we're currently offering in the systems engineering and engineering management realms. Starting with the two master's level degrees at the top, MSSE, 30 credit hours on campus or online. We launched this program in the fall of 24, so it's brand new. Courses were developed with the latest in the discipline, and we cannot find ways of celebrating how successful they have been. I happen to be the instructor of Fundamentals of Systems Engineering, the front door to the program. And I had last fall an enrollment of 105 people in my classrooms, which was mind-blowing and quite rewarding. So systems engineering is going full speed in Utah. And with the online programs, we branched out and started offering our work here to everyone in the country. And as of a couple of weeks ago, to 20 different countries in the world. Same is valid for engineering management. For anyone interested, you have a somewhat similar degree over there that can be completed within a couple of years. We are, like everyone else here, partners with INCOSE. We offer the academic equivalency with two of our courses. We try not to condense things too much. We cover the handbook in enough time to actually practice all that new knowledge. And we also have two graduate level certificates, one in systems, one in engineering management. For those not quite ready to go for the full degree, they stick with us for about a year and get a graduate certificate. The good news is that all those credits from the graduate certificate can be transferred into a degree program later on if the student chooses to apply. Next slide, please. And that's a big summary of how to join us, beginning with some basic admissions requirements. And of course, all the information that you need will be on our website, systems.utah.edu. But we're expecting anyone with a STEM undergraduate degree, 3.0 plus GPA average, no GRE requirements, and demonstrated knowledge in calculus, statistic, and computer programming. We admit students on every term, fall, spring, and summer. I am the primary advisor to every incoming student, so you sit down and discuss with me the best courses to take on your first, second, third, and potentially fourth semesters if you're going for the full degree. We really pride ourselves on how much we require people to invest for their education. The cost per credit hour that you see there, just about $900, is the equivalent to in-state tuition for Salt Lake City campus students in the College of Engineering, which is quite low. A fee of $2,700 per course when we benchmarked it was proven to be a very high value, low investment, which is something that a lot of our students appreciate. You can give us a try. If you're not ready to apply for the certificate, if you're not ready to apply for the degree programs, you can sign up as a non-matriculated student, take one or two courses, most likely the courses that give you the INCOSE equivalency benefit. And if you like the way we do things here, then you can transfer any non-matriculated courses that you take into a certificate later on, as well as a degree. My email address is on the screen. I'm hoping to hear from some interested folks over here. But again, all the information will be on the systems.utah.edu website, which you can get there scanning that QR code as well. And that's it. Thank you for the opportunity to present here. Again, reach out. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, thanks, Pedro. Yeah, I think one of my former colleagues here at Aerospace is now a faculty member, Dr. Mark Mayer.
Dr. Mark Mayer, correct. He joined us last year. He's teaching all the model-based systems engineering courses, systems architecting, developing an upcoming advanced MBSE course, which has just been discussed in the curriculum committee. He's doing great things here. He's by all means our MBSE expert.
Okay, great. Awesome, thank you. If you could stick around for Q&A, that'd be great as well.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, next, who do you have, Omar?
We have Cornell Systems Engineering Program. Cornell.
Okay, Cornell.
Okay, hello everyone. My audio doing okay?
Doing fine.
Okay, great. Thank you. Hi. Yeah, so I'm Professor Cliff Whitcomb, so I'll be giving a presentation on the overview of our Cornell Systems Engineering program. We have a couple of different programs here. We have the Master of Engineering program, again, primarily for those students who are looking to go and develop some skills in their career, sort of keeping in the workplace and the workforce. And we have a Master of Science and PhD programs. They're all research-based, currently all on campus for the MS and PhD programs. We're looking at trying to expand into more potential distance options for PhDs. But in the PhD programs, we have several different research focus areas you can see on the list here. So we have several areas of research, but PhDs are really focused on the faculty advisor in their different area. And we do it in systems instead of focusing just in systems engineering. So we do an awful lot of research in the area of all kinds of systems in any kind of context there. So next slide, please. Okay, so this is an overview of our Master of Engineering program. We do offer it at distance learning and on-campus versions. We keep it to a set of core courses, sets of electives in areas of modeling, analysis, application, and management. We kind of group them in these different categories. Then we have a capstone project at the end of the curriculum. We focus the core courses on model-based systems engineering and sort of foundations of systems engineering with a second component, sort of systems analysis in more in systems behavior and optimization or quantitative methods in systems analysis. And then a course in project management. So either students can choose either principles of project leadership or project management and leadership for complex systems. The DL students also have a couple of one-week modules that they take 1-credit courses. They come to campus before they start their program in the spring, in the fall, and then they have one in the following summer before they take their second semester courses. So, see, next slide. Yeah, so as far as our electives go, we have grouped our electives into pathways for students in quite a number of different areas. Systems engineering draws on the faculty across the College of Engineering and other schools at the university to have faculty teach their courses as approved electives in the context of our systems engineering program. So students who are interested in taking courses in other areas can find ways of getting their electives organized into sort of some domain special courses, or they can just continue deeper into systems engineering if they'd like, or things like project management. Next slide, please. So for distance learning students, kind of run this typically as a 2-year program. It can be extended longer if students are trying to balance their work-life aspects and their workload. But in the first year, again, we have that first summer where students come in for 1 week, kind of get to see the campus, collaborate with each other on campus before going back to the workplace and starting their program as a distance learning program. Typically 2 courses a semester, running through some basic courses in systems engineering and systems analysis and project management, and then in the second year, picking up some electives along with their capstone project. Again, in the summer, coming back for a course to sort of get some more education and some cohort building around aspects related to how they might apply creativity and innovation in the way they approach their capstone project. Next slide, please. Okay, the on-campus program typically is finished in a 1-year full-time on-campus program. This is probably more attended by our international on-campus student body It's the same set of courses, so the same 3 core courses that we have across the program, and the same capstone at the end, just completing the course in a single year with filling in with electives and taking the same kind of electives and elective choices as the distance learning students. We teach the same courses for on-campus and distance learning students with the same faculty for those courses. Again, try to provide the same educational baseline and then provide the flexibility for the distance learning students to take them, of course, in their workplace and on-campus students in the classroom. Next slide, please. Okay, we do have a number of certificates, and we offer the INCOSE exam equivalency. So we have students can take the systems engineering course that is INCOSE exam equivalency for the ASEP separate from the program, or it's built into the Master of Engineering program. We also offer a course in Six Sigma certifications for Green Belt and Black Belt in Lean Six Sigma. We have other certificates that organize courses into systems engineering design, systems engineering in some kind of context of some domain specialization, and a certificate in sustainable energy. We're developing more certificates in different areas as we go here. We've got some certificates working in data analytics and artificial intelligence. Haven't quite put those in place yet. Okay, next slide. Okay, application requirements for Master of Engineering programs. We're looking for students with a bachelor's degree in some kind of a STEM field. We do have a requirement for courses in probability and statistics. And we have other information here on how to apply with different scores, some of the TOEFL requirements for international students. And next slide, please. Yeah, so you're looking for further information on the program. Jessica Beebe is the Assistant Director for Graduate Programs, and she's the main point of contact for the program. And the QR code here will lead you to our website if you're interested in more about the systems engineering program at Cornell. And that's it for me. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Clifford. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you could stick around for Q&A, that'd be
sure.
Appreciate it. I think we're getting close to the end. So not too much longer. Next up, we have Penn State, Masters of Engineering and Systems Engineering.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll be talking about the Penn State's Master of Engineering in Systems Engineering. I'm the professor in charge of the Systems Engineering program. The program is designed and offered by Penn State Great Valley campus, which is geared towards the Graduate School for Working Professionals. So all of our faculty are designing these courses for working professionals. We also have other programs, data analytics, AI, software engineering, and information science. So we also collaborate with those faculty in our course designs as well. Next slide, please. So just to give you a program overview, the program is offered online through our Penn State World Campus. Though our campus designs the courses, the faculty teaches the courses, it's offered online through Penn State World Campus. What is different from traditional engineering programs is we are focusing on working professionals. So our courses are designed for working professionals who have to balance work and schoolwork. Our courses are 7-week courses where you focus one course at a time, and you work with your cohort, and you continue to take courses for 6 continuous semesters. The total number of courses you have to complete is 12 courses, 36 credits. And you also have an option to receive our Penn State stackable credentials. I'll explain that a little bit more. And we are also qualified for INCOSE academic equivalency. So, once you take 3 of our courses, you will be eligible for the academic equivalency as well. Next slide, please. So what do I mean by stackable certificates? This program is a skill-focused approach to systems engineering. We give you the flexibility to start with stackable certificates geared towards specific skills. And once you complete the 4 stackable certificates, you will be eligible for the Master of Engineering in Systems Engineering. Plus, we also require you to complete a capstone project for the master's program. But since our focus is on working professionals, you also have the option to maybe just focus on a specific skill set and get the stackable certificate for a specific skill. And then you also have the option to progress depending on your tuition limitations, because working professionals have certain reimbursement limits. This gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of the time period, the commitment, as well as the tuition for you to progress in the systems engineering program. We have started offering this for the past 2 years. It has been really successful in terms of attracting working professionals. But the main idea here is, these are skills that are related to systems engineering, and we pay attention to addressing those skills in our courses. So I'll give you more details about each of those stackable certificates. Again, these courses are also core courses in our Master of Engineering in Systems Engineering. So let's move to the next slide, please. So the first set of skills is technical management. So for any complex system engineering project, there is, you need to have the management skills. And the courses that are geared towards this skill set is systems thinking. We also have a technical project management course geared towards complex engineering system management. We also have a course on problem solving, where we focus on problem solving strategies for complex problems, as well as understanding problem solving styles of in different individuals, how you work in team settings, and how it impacts the overall effectiveness of complex engineering system development. This is geared towards roles. For example, if you are shooting for a managerial position in a system engineering program, a program manager, project manager, a lead system engineer, and test manager, this certificate set will be valuable for you as we focus on these core skill sets. Next slide, please. Next set of skills we ask our students to take is system quality and risk evaluation. In this set of courses, we have systems verification, validation, and testing. We focus on test planning, verification, validation, system integration, as well as how to achieve system quality. We also have a course in systems engineering where we also look at other wide range of system qualities required for complex systems. And we also address decision and risk analysis through various decision analysis tools and risk analysis tools. This is especially helpful for industry roles if you are a system test engineer, test manager, if you are an integration engineer, a system analyst, or a risk analyst. Next slide, please. We have a set of courses geared towards system modeling and analysis. As you know, system engineers, we have to understand and be able to create models for analyzing, as well as optimizing system design and architecture. So we have a specific course geared toward discrete system modeling, and another course focused on continuous system modeling. And we also have a model-based system engineering course which focuses on digital model development, management, and model-based system engineering practices. This set of courses are especially valuable for system analysts, system engineers, and system test engineers. Next slide, please. Finally, we also have a set of courses which are geared towards lifecycle system design. In this set of courses, we have system development methodologies covered. We have a course on requirements management, focusing on requirements elicitation, engineering, and management. We also have a course on system architecting techniques, system architecture, modeling, and documentation. We also have a complementary course on design thinking, invention, creative design, and we focus on human-centered design and how it aligns with systems thinking. This especially is geared towards system engineers, system requirements engineers, lead system engineers, system architects, and system integration engineers. So once you complete all of these 4 stackable certificates, for our Master of Engineering program, we require you to also take a capstone design course. And once you complete that course, which is a team-based course on cyber-physical system design, you will be eligible to receive the Master of Engineering in Systems Engineering. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is the information you need. The barcode, QR code gives you the link to World Campus System Engineering program. All the information is there. If you have specific questions about our system engineering program, we have Dr. Amanda Neal, who will immediately get in contact with you. We also have corporate alliance partnerships. So if you are interested in that, you can also send an email to that following information. Also for admission requirements, we have admissions for summer cohort, fall cohort, and spring cohort. And the admission deadline for our summer cohort is April 15th. So you can you can just shoot an email to our admissions email here to get more information about what you need. Typically, the admission material is typical of any engineering school, statement of intent. We do require engineering and science background, especially we require Calculus 1 and Calculus 2 as a prerequisite for starting our programs. If you do not have those courses in your transcripts, we have a bridge calculus course, which we require applicants to complete before starting our program. So I think that's all I have, and I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have.
All right, thank you, Neil. Yeah, we're gonna save Q&A for the end. So if you can stay online, that'd be great. Okay, I think we're at the end. Is that right? Or no?
That's right.
Okay. Okay, so we're at the end now. So yeah, let's open up the floor for Q&A. So if anyone wants to ask a question to any of the presenters representing their universities, feel free to do so now.
Well, I'll start with a question for everyone. We know that artificial intelligence, especially generative AI, it's rapidly advancing in many areas. And with the emergence of SysML2, there's great opportunities to take advantage of those type of technology to to help us model and conduct analysis, but that doesn't replace the skill sets that one must bring to this discipline. How are your institution incorporating these technologies into the programs to provide those skill sets required to take advantage of generative AI and SysML2?
I can jump in on that. I mean, I'm not a SysML expert per se. I've used plenty of it for software and stuff over the years, but I've been in AI for 3 decades. So one of the things we've always strived for is using AI as a component, having it be used the same way as you would any other subsystem, especially in cybersecurity and in analytics. And so we use those as components, plug them in. They are modularized the same way anything else is with model-based systems engineering or in software with UML. And so that's been very straightforward. And our recommendation, of course, is to use, pruned versions or, what you would call ablated versions of AI as components to keep them from undergoing hallucination. The other thing to remember with AI is it does not replace the human in the loop who actually has to have the skill set and the domain knowledge to actually go in and make sense of it. And you see that even with stuff that I would never have in my wildest dreams thought was around, like vibe coding and all of that, and getting somebody else to do all of your coding for you, you still have to have those skill sets. So I think rather than this being a threat to us as systems engineering community, all of us here being systems engineers, it's a real advantage to taking a systems engineering approach to things, and we emphasize that with our students. Been, for me, rather interesting because I've been here now over 7 years at CSU, coming from industry, and I haven't really had to change my slides a lot. I just end up talking about AI as one of the components more than, like Bayesian methods or SVM or other types of, machine learning that, evolutionary algorithms that we might have used more in the past. I'll open it up to anybody else's input. Thanks.
I think from our curriculum, I come at this question from 2 different angles: how we teach in the classroom, and then some of the content we teach outside of that. So first part, in the classroom, I think whatever I say now is probably going to evolve and be somewhat out of date in the next 6 months as we're seeing things kind of ramp up. But from our curriculum, I think there's a couple things. Is one, I agree with what Steve said. I think this overarching systems framework, so defining the right question, and because agentic AI is just going to be a complementer and it's going to be a tool. But if you're defining the problem wrong, if you're not thinking about how to measure it, if you're not thinking about objectives, if you're not thinking about all these other things that I think systems engineers need to at the front part, I think you're just kind of compounding and answering the wrong problem with a lot more complexity. It's a school for the thought of, it's better to answer the right problem wrong than the wrong problem right. And I think AI is really a kind of a compounding factor for that. But kind of at a more granular level, we're adjusting our curriculum, because I think we're cutting out some of the fat that's being addressed by AI. And a specific example I have of that is within our human computer interfaces class. We used to go through and spend some time talking about Figma frameworks. And I think this is just becoming outdated. That we're not teaching, the simplex method anymore in our optimization classes, but we're still focusing on, we're letting AI generate some of these Figma, kind of prototypes, for HCI classes. So I think the need to get into some of those nuts and bolts things, that is going by the wayside, but the need to have a human in the loop and understand what are those core principles that are driving those design decisions, I think are still extremely important. And the fact that we're able to rapidly prototype things with agentic AI makes those high-level strategic decisions at the front end even more important. So that's the way we're kind of addressing things, I think, in the classroom. And then what we're actually teaching, we teach both an innovation and a strategic product management class. And I think those are 2 classes that we're talking about what is the potential for agentic AI. So we're bringing in different industry experts to talk about, how innovation in AI is actually affecting them in their startup businesses, how that's able to kind of, in the military context, a force multiplier effect, how agentic could still be a force multiplier in business decisions, starting up a business. Where is the potential there? So we're bringing in a couple professionals in our current class. That was our last session. It was two guys who had started AI-based company. One was in cybersecurity. One was kind of in a financial services agentic AI role. So they were talking about just how AI was changing the way they thought about starting and their entrepreneurial piece of that. The flip side of that in our product class, which I think is a great field for systems engineers, because you're talking about that intersection of dev, user experiences, decision makers. They're talking about where AI is fitting in there too, and the business cases that we're using to demonstrate some of the principles are changing and evolving too. So I don't know if that's kind of where you were going with that at all, but that's the way we're thinking about AI. And I'm sure in 6 months, I'm going to walk back what I just said and have some new examples too.
I'd like to
anyone else want to comment on the question? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I'd like to add just a few comments. Our approach at Penn State is we are still focusing on the core system engineering processes and concepts. What we are doing in our courses is adding sections and modules on, critical thinking, critically analyzing the AI output, how it should, how our system engineer should analyze those outputs, make sure that you are not entrapped into the bias of an AI output. And we are also trying to incorporate how system engineers can practically use these tools to support the system engineering positions that they are into. For example, in requirements engineering, how can you use these AI tools but effectively, as well as analyze critically the outputs of AI tools. So that's what I'd like to add. Thank you.
Yeah, if I could chime in from Cornell's perspective, I think that's very similar to what we're doing with our systems engineering courses, is how can you appropriately bring in aspects related to AI to help leverage what you might be able to do in different systems engineering contexts, but also providing that verification somehow that you're not just using AI tools blindly and trying to look at how you can incorporate them appropriately. And like I said, it's changing so fast. It's starting in over several years, adding these things into the curriculum just as more of a kind of an interesting thing a couple of years ago, to the point that I can barely keep up with what's going on to be able to apply it. But we do have a number of our courses as electives. The students can take courses in areas where they can actually take courses on how to build AI models, machine learning, deep learning, in different contexts, from faculty that teach those in those areas as electives if they want to go into a lot of depth. And we've developed some courses on using AI in the context of doing various systems engineering developments in some new courses that we've just developed. And we're trying to look at how does this actually apply. It's still moving fast enough that we're trying to see how we can make it work in the context, because in our MEng program, it's students going into work for companies, and even some of those companies are using AI already in ways that some of the students are able to bring some good examples back into class of how they're using it. So I think it's really been a good sort of a co-learning environment at the same time.
All right. Any other comments on Omar's question? AI is a very popular topic, right? Especially with systems engineering. Okay. Any other questions?
I see a question in the chat from.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's see. I'll go ahead and read it. I'm interested in the SC doctoral program. Given the recent cuts to research, are fellowships and/or research grants available at your institutions? Whoever wants to go first, answer that question.
I see Alejandro responding there on the chat. If you want to chime in, Alejandro.
Yeah, Alejandro, if you want to come on mic and respond, that'd be great.
Sure. We do have fellowships and research grants. They are only available for full-time students on site, in person. But of course, those are competitive, right? So depending on who we get and all the different financial needs, we do have fellowships that are at different levels within the university, and then we have research grants from different professors. My feeling, but I don't know what my colleagues think, but my feeling is that research has not been affected in systems engineering maybe as much as in other places, or at least I have not seen any real impact on the kind of research that we do when it is heavily oriented to NSF systems engineering or Department of War, Department of Energy. I feel it is pretty stable, maybe more demanding and less funding for travel. Not as good to go to conferences, but in terms of projects, I think the only shift is a bit more demand for actionable results, I think.
I'd say at Cornell was a somewhat similar situation where we didn't see a big hit to systems engineering research programs or systems, but we did see last year was worse with the sort of the cutoff of Department of Defense and other research programs, NIH and things that it caused more of a problem for the faculty when the students are already there. And so that, we don't just throw the students out. So it was more the university having to figure out a way, each department pick up what they were going to do to carry students through. And things have gotten a little bit better this year, but it didn't affect our ability to give grants to students. As Alejandro said, they're very competitive, and the school did not, at least Cornell did not cut back on those. So we still had grants and programs for, to help students. Those were internal to Cornell, and they weren't affected, but many faculty did have to take fewer students last year simply because they couldn't commit to new students. But we've picked up more on this year. We've picked up some of those back. So it's, of course, we're probably going to see more transients on that in the future. But it's been rough. I don't want to predict the future, but it seems like we've been sort of weathering this sort of okay right now.
I think I'd like to chime in on Clifford's point, where at CSU we actually did see quite a serious interruption, particularly in funding from the Department of Energy. Now that was because Colorado got caught up in let's say less than technical reasons for funding to get cut. But I think that the broader issue we've been having, to Cliff's point, is the uncertainty around future funding means that I, as like a newer faculty in the systems engineering department, I can't commit to on-campus students because I don't know if I have the funds for them. And it's been frustrating, but I will say, to Alejandro's point, right, in systems engineering, we've been luckier than a lot of our colleagues in having multiple and diverse sources of funding to at least try and weather that storm. But yeah, I think at some point institutions may have to step up and at least commit to helping out with funding that gets canceled, which CSU did last year, or finding some way to support PhD and master's students that doesn't rely quite so heavily on uncertain government funding.
All right. Any other comments from the universities that you want to make?
Well, I'm going to say UVA, we do have a PhD program, but it's all on grounds, full-time students, and similar to the sentiments that we've had here, just it's become more selective because of all the reasons that have been mentioned above. So we do, but it's glad to talk about those more. Feel free to shoot me an email, but it's just a lot more selective at this point.
Got it. All right. Any final comments on this question? Otherwise, we'll open the floor for more questions. How are we doing on time, Omar? I think we're about 12 minutes left. So I think we're in good shape. Actually, I have a question. During all the presentations, I saw varying master's and doctoral programs in systems engineering. I saw a master's of engineering in systems engineering, and I also saw a master's of science in systems engineering. And then on the doctoral front, I saw the doctor of engineering in systems engineering, and then of course their traditional PhD in systems engineering. So can you describe what's the difference between those degree types for masters and doctoral? And I'll just open it up to any school that wants to respond.
I can. I'm sorry, I can say for Penn State, since as I mentioned, we are focusing on working professionals. Our programs are for working professionals. That's why we have a Master of Engineering. It's not a Master of Science. Usually with Master of Science, you would expect a thesis project. Since this is for working professionals, ours is focused more on building the skills for the system engineering practice. We have a capstone project which we require. So that's the major difference between Master of Engineering and Master of Science. For Penn State, we do not have a Doctor of Engineering in Systems Engineering, but Penn State World Campus offers a program for working professionals called Doctor of Engineering, under which you can specialize in systems engineering. So again, this is again for working professionals. That's why the difference. It's not a PhD program, Doctor of Engineering program, which is separate from our system engineering program. So that's the major distinction.
Okay.
Very similar. Since it's based on for working professionals, it's a 10 class, 30 credit hour curriculum for the ME. Though just to add kind of confusion, I have seen a couple schools out there that do call an MS the one with just classwork only, and they kind of invert it from time to time. But at UVA, MS means with a thesis, ME means coursework with a final project at the end, and that's what we do for our executive accelerated master's program, the one in Falls Church.
Same at Cornell. We use Master of Engineering is a course based with a project, and that's intended for working professionals. And MS, PhD, those are research based degrees, but we don't actually separate courses necessarily into master's courses and PhD courses, but we do have a different level courses of more advanced courses. But a master's science student can take graduate courses at either level and have them count towards their MS degree. So it's not so much a level of the course. It's typically the PhD course will be more specialized and perhaps not as general for what MS students might be looking for, but they can certainly take them. And it's usually up to the students' committee to approve the courses they take anyway. So it's not sort of picking from a catalog for the MS and PhD without approval of their PhD or master's committee.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, hey, how's my audio? This is Kirk Moen.
Hear you loud and clear, Kirk.
Yeah, I was wondering, really for all the programs for different engineering disciplines, how are you partnering with the various agencies, corporations, labs, national and international labs, as well as some of our agencies to really push the state of the art when it comes to AI for SE, MBSE, or other engineering disciplines? And then also, how do you do the opposite of AI for SE or MBSE or other engineering disciplines, but how are you enabling better improved systems engineering, model-based systems engineering, enabled by some of the types of AI? I think one of the biggest struggles I see is we have all these standards. They're slow to evolve with the speed of technology. And so things like data architectures and ontologies and taxonomies, so that the LLMs and the other types of AI can be leveraged, seem to be um, behind the curve, so to speak. I'm just curious what the universities are doing in the way of these private corporate partnerships.
I can give one example. So it actually took a long time to get this through our Office of Contracts and Grants and Office of Special Programs and everything, but we do have an arrangement for myself and a few others who have a long history of, generating patents. I was fortunate to be able to generate hundreds of patents when I was at HP, and so we are setting up partnerships with specific large corporations to help them roll out IP that's relevant to AI and systems engineering, and with the hopes that obviously that will engage them and allow them to see CSU as a place to go with students. And of course, there's always a contingency if one or more of those patents pans out. It's a good program as well. And so it's a little more tied to, the fact that so many of our faculty here have a long history in industry with, the industry IP generation, but it's a good example of how I think all of us can engage because, we want our students obviously to go into some of these industries, and a lot of us are working directly with them. Front Range Corridor, of course, a lot of our students are in aerospace, and so we will engage with them at every level of project planning all the way through project development and product development. Depending on where the student is in their career. I have students, with working with me who are older than me, right? So they've definitely hit mid-career and everything else, and they're, looking to build new skills. IP is a good example. It's something that systems engineers across the board are very good with, and that's a way to engage them. The other ones, of course, are cybersecurity, et cetera, and all of those are going through some type of a transition with AI, but it's not changing everything, beyond recognition. I'll let somebody else jump in. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll jump in for so for as Hopkins has worked with a lot of different industry partners, I would say every partnership is different. So we don't presume just because we done it with one company, it's the same as the other. So we're fairly careful this is just for MBSE purposes to make sure like what tools, what environment, what sort of mindset are you all or the students in the company really looking to do using those environments, and it's varying degrees, even within one company where you've got different divisions, they have some different needs that we found. Some want it really focused and emphasized with MBSE, and so we've had to modify some of our core classes to be able to address additional sort of MBSE examples in usage. And again, with some of the tool sets that we've seen over the years, definitely working with some of the tool vendors. And again, they have some various permissions and various different permutations on how the different companies use it. And trying to align, what we do is try to align with what the corporations actually use. And so they can have a seamless transition from the schoolhouse into their own normal operations for work the next day.
If I can say at Cornell, it's very similar. I think that when it comes to those kind of things, we work with any corporate partner that we have if they're interested and they want to engage with us. Boeing has a more formal program that has been cross university where they're looking for a collaboration on anything that universities might have to offer them, and so things that they would like to have as a potential customer and things they're looking for. So, but other companies that we have at Cornell, like Lockheed Martin and Cummins and others, that if they have something that they need as part of their education offerings and they see things changing, it becomes a dialogue on, what do they really need and how can we do that? Now, we can't give them custom courses, but we try to look at how can we take this and put it into a curriculum and adjust things. But we've been gathering some of those things in a larger context to figure out, okay, do we need to be able to develop something that more corporate partners would be interested in trying to keep up with? How do we need to work our curriculum, and working through industrial advisory board to try to level that out around to find out what's a more general interest and what might be just a specific interest.
All right. Any final comments? Okay, I think we're just at the top of the hour. Good timing. So I just want to thank all the presenters representing the universities today. Every presentation was awesome. I learned a lot. I'm quite sure that all our members who were joined us learned quite a bit about your programs as well. And again, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to present. Talk to us about your system engineering graduate degree programs. I think for members, the presenters, their contact information will be available to you in case you want to reach out to any of them to get further information. Also, this session was recorded and will be posted on our website, INCOSE WMA.org, as well as INCOSE.connect or INCOSEconnect.org for those who are members of the organization. So I'm going to turn it over to Omar for any final comments, and then we'll wrap up for this evening.
Yeah, just like Jeff said, thank you everyone for your time. We greatly appreciate you sharing with us and with the community, and thank you for all the great work you guys are doing to advance the discipline.
Thank you on behalf of all of us for having us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Take care.
Good night.
Good night.
Right.